When your AC stops working, just call the experts at KS Services Heating and Air. They're fast and affordable. Right now, purchase any Bryant energy efficient system and save with 0% interest for 60 months with approved credit. It comes included with a 5-year labor warranty. And our fair price guarantee means that we will always give you 3 quotes for every situation. A good, better, and best. Call KS Services Heating and Air today. We roll on, whatever it takes.
This is the Weather Xtreme video. This is the morning edition for Friday, September 8th. I'm James Spann. All eyes are on Irma. Landfall will likely be at the southern tip of Florida this weekend. Looks like parts of Alabama will see some rain from this next week. So let's see if we can answer all of your questions. We'll take some time and go through all of this. We'll start with the big picture, as we often do here. This is the water vapor satellite view. The wind's aloft, if you will. A big trough in the east, and that's going to turn Irma to the right. It's going to make a hard right-hand turn. And let me just say, it feels great again this morning. Look at those 40s over North Alabama. Fort Payne at 46 to start the day. Alabama's weather, beautiful through the weekend. That's the easy part. Tropical weather. There's the trio. Katia, Irma, Jose. Let's start with Katia in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. This is going to drift down into Mexico. Top winds now at 90 miles an hour. And we stress no threat to Texas. No rains for Houston, Galveston, Brownsville. This will stay well to the south of there. Jose, this is the system trailing Irma. It's going to gain latitude and begin to hook to the north, well east of the Bahamas. That's out to 5 days, and this is the ensemble guidance, and it just kind of does a dipsy-doodle out there for 10 to 15 days. No steering currents, it goes nowhere. It could kick out to sea, or it might try and bend back westward later in September. At this point, we just don't know. But this is the one we need to talk about here. This is Irma. And I want to stress, even though the winds have come down, this is still a Category 5 hurricane. This is a powerhouse. Don't let this drop in the wind, get up in your head here too much. For a long time, this thing had winds of 185 miles an hour. The winds now are 155, sustained winds. Still a powerhouse, moving west-northwest at 16. Let's go right to the official track from the Hurricane Center. And this is just really bad for our friends on the Atlantic coast of Florida. Hurricane Center brings it in early Sunday morning at the southern tip of Florida and moves it right up the spine of Florida. And that's going to put those big Atlantic coast cities on the bad east side. This is just not good at all for Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Melbourne, Daytona Beach, St. Augustine, Jacksonville. And obviously it's not good for the central part of the state. Orlando will likely see hurricane force winds Sunday. Now, for the West Coast, Naples, Fort Myers, Sarasota, Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg, a lot of wind, a lot of rain. There could be a lot of tree and power line damage, a lot of power outages. But again, the most severe issues with the big storm surge problems will be on the other side. Let's look at some modeling here. Tropical models, pretty good agreement. They bring it up either through the spine or on the Atlantic coast, and little variations down there will make a big difference in impact, but then it comes up through eastern Georgia, and then it just kind of loops around through Tennessee and Alabama. And, of course, at that point, it's a weakening remnant circulation, but certainly that would mean that we're going to see some rain from this in Alabama at some point next week, and we'll talk about that as we go. This is the GFS ensemble, 21 members. The mean is the black line. The mean brings it up through eastern Georgia, then curves it northeast. The OZ run, the blue line, kind of loops it through parts of Alabama. Let's look at the storm surge watches and warnings. This is a newer product. We got a storm surge warning from basically West Palm Beach all the way down to the Keys and then back up over toward Naples on the Gulf side. And this is the QPF. This is the expected rain for the next 5 days as a result of Irma. The really big numbers on the eastern seaboard, but this thing is moving. You're not going to see these, 36-inch totals like we had with Harvey. It's moving. And in Alabama, you can see that we've got some shades of green. Now, not all of Alabama is going to get rain from this. There's a chance that maybe Tuscaloosa, Demopolis, certainly Mobile gets no rain. And again, look at the Gulf Coast. If you got a beach trip, central Gulf Coast, no rain for Mobile, Gulf Shores, Pensacola, Destin, maybe Panama City. Panama City's right on the edge. They could see some rain. They might miss the rain completely. But again, the Gulf is going to be dry. The Central Gulf should be dry down there. But let's go right into the model output here. We'll take you through the GFS and the European. This is the GFS. This is the 06E run valid today at 1 o'clock Central. This is a loft at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground, troughing over the northeast. And again, for Alabama, beautiful today, just gorgeous. Sunny, the high will be around 80. Great night for high school football tonight. We've got our two systems down to the south, Katia moving into the Mexican coast, and Irma that's off the north coast of Cuba. Tomorrow, again, gorgeous weather for college football across Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee. Just beautiful. Irma, pretty close to the north coast of Cuba. Let's go to Sunday. This is midday, 1 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern. Irma is in South Florida. The right-hand turn brings it up that way. Looks like the landfall will be sometime Sunday morning. And that is a very bad look for Miami and Fort Lauderdale, obviously. Let's go to Sunday night, just after midnight. This is 2 a.m. Eastern Monday. 939 millibar, center of Hurricane Irma, is just south of Orlando. And again, that's just very bad for Melbourne and Daytona Beach. Obviously, Orlando will see hurricane force winds. I would not want to be there. If you got a trip planned to Disney World, I would not want to be there really Sunday and Monday. The weather improves. In fact, let's go to Monday. The weather greatly improves in Orlando, but there could be some damage and there could be some issues with travel and stuff. I just wouldn't want to try and be in there Sunday or early next week. The center of Irma at that point should be near the Florida-Georgia line. And again, that's not a good look for Jacksonville at all. And at that point, we could see some rain over southeast Alabama. But again, I stress Alabama is on the good side. The good side, it's the west side. But there could be some wind and rain for southeast Alabama. If you're in Dothan, Eufaula, Monday looks like a windy day, but it's a wind coming out of the north, and there could be some rain. We'll go to Monday night just after midnight. The circulation center, by this point, it should be a tropical storm, should be near Atlanta. And you can see rain for much of north and east and southeast Alabama. And it should be pretty windy Monday night. And I'd say the winds will be in the 15, 25, 30 mile per hour bracket, maybe gusting a little higher, but this is not going to be the kind of thing that's going to produce any structural damage. And we do not expect any tornadoes here because we are on the good side. The tornado threat's going to be along and east of the center. But clearly we need to mention some rain Monday afternoon, Monday night. This is Tuesday, the circulation center, and by then this should be a depression, is located near Huntsville. And again, obviously for the northern half of the state, we'll maintain the chance of rain on Tuesday, and then by Wednesday it pretty much fizzles out and it's gone. So that's the GFS. Now let's look at the European. This is Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern, and again, that's a bad look for Miami. It's got the thing inland over extreme South Florida. We'll go to Sunday night just after midnight. This is 2 a.m. Monday. This thing is coming up, approaching Orlando from the south. And again, just bad for the East Coast. And again, the West Coast, Tampa Bay, St. Pete, Sarasota. It'd be very windy, very wet. Trees could go down. Power lines could go down. There could be widespread power outages. But again, in terms of big, major structural damage, that'll be over on the eastern side of this thing where the big storm surge will be. We'll go to Monday at midday. This is the European. It's got this thing west of Jacksonville, again near the Florida-Georgia state line. Monday night, it's near Macon, Georgia. Again, we're obviously going to see some rain here, and I've got the wind field up on the European. Those blues, those are winds in the 10, 20 mile per hour bracket for Alabama. And then Tuesday, the remnant circulation is over Jackson County, Alabama. And you can say our winds are really not that bad at that point as this thing weakens. So we're going to mention rain for a pretty good chunk of northeast Alabama Monday afternoon, Monday night, and Tuesday. Windy, obviously, but not enough wind to cause a lot of damage. It might knock a tree down somewhere, but again, winds 15, 20, 25, 30 miles an hour, something like that, and no tornado threat. Let's just keep going with the European. This is Wednesday. We're looking at Jose down there. You can see in the right-hand corner in the Atlantic. We'll go to the end of the forecast period. This is Sunday, September 17th. That's Jose east of the Carolinas. And again, it's just meandering about, something to watch for our friends on the Atlantic coast. Here's the QPF. This is the rain output from the European. And again, obviously the big numbers, 5 to 10 inches, that'll be over the Florida Peninsula. But in Alabama, you can see it's trying to print amounts of almost 2 inches from Birmingham north and east. But that will not create any flooding. We believe it will be coming down at a fairly uniform rate. But again, all of this we'll have to watch. As I've been saying, if you're working with information that is more than 6 hours old, it's bad information. Stay up with the current stuff. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes in the blog. The next video here by 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you can't catch us this evening on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.
AC broken? Just call KS Services Heating and Air. All Bryant energy efficient systems come with a 5-year labor warranty, and our fair price guarantee means that we'll always give you 3 quotes for every situation. Just call KS Services Heating and Air today.